For most athletes in cheer, dance, and gymnastics, one day you have one last run on the mats. The routine ends, the music stops, the judges decide your placement, the season finishes, and whether or not we like it or we're ready for it, competition ends. But no one really talks about what happens next. We spend years training and coaching. You sacrifice time with friends. You spent weekends traveling, competing, pushing yourself to the next level, the next goal, the next skill, and you identified as an athlete or coach. And then one day we're just expected to move on, like nothing happened, and you didn't have all these incredible experiences in this sport. When I was looking at podcasts that focus on youth sports specifically, I realized that there were a ton of podcasts that were talking about athlete psychology or how to be a better athlete. They had tips on coaching, or maybe you were a gym owner that was growing their business. There was tons of opportunities for videos and podcasts for you to listen to about those. But no one was talking about the roles and the industry and how people got there, how they made a career out of it. And that's what this podcast is all about. Welcome to After the Routine. This podcast is for the athlete who loves their sport, but is thinking, can I actually make a career out of this? What can I do long term that can make money and I still be involved in something I'm super passionate? It's also for the parent who has invested time, money, and energy, and now they're wanting to understand what opportunities actually exist for their child. Or maybe you fell in love with the sport so much that you want to be able to pursue a career in it. It's also for the coach who's shaping young athletes' lives and wants to look at how can I do this long term and make money and be successful. After the Routine is all about connecting these dots. My name is Rachelle Provost, and I'm your host. I'm a cheerleading coach, athlete, and I co-own a marketing agency called TTB Media and Consulting Inc. that specializes in cheer, dance, and gymnastics programs. I've been involved in the cheerleading industry here in Canada since 2010, and I've noticed something. We are great at building incredible athletes, but what we're not always intentional and clear about is how we build careers within the sport. And how do we let others know how to do that? And how do we get more coaches in? How do we get more gyms and people? And if you're not interested in coaching or being a gym owner, how else can you be involved in the sport and the industry and still make a living? And I just kept thinking, why aren't we talking about this? Why aren't we documenting these pathways? Why aren't we showing athletes and coaches what's possible beyond the mat, beyond that stage, when that music stops, what's possible after it? And that's why I decided to create After the Routine. This is one of my passion projects that I've been so excited about. I've been talking about it for about 6 months now and really thinking about how can I make an impact here? How can I help athletes, coaches, and parents find their place and do something that I didn't think was possible 10, 15 years ago? And now I've had the opportunity to for the last 8 years. It's not just to have conversations with people, though. I want to make that really clear. It's about building a platform that highlights real career journeys. And it's not just oh, you could do this. It's this is how I did it. This is what I did. This is where I went. This is how I made that happen and really pursued those opportunities. Because let's be honest, our sport, whether it's cheer, dance, or gymnastics, teaches really important skills. Things like leadership, resilience, performance under pressure, communication, teamwork, discipline. And they're not just smart skills, right? Those are career defining, transferable skills that you can use in your career, whether that's starting as a CIT or moving into a role that's marketing specific. Maybe that you're wanting to start working an event producer at competitions and helping run operations there. There's a really common narrative or look in competitive sports. It's that you compete, you coach, and maybe you own your own gym or program, and that's it. But there are so many opportunities. The industry runs on so many more roles and opportunities and people than just those. They're super important. But I think for people to know where to go forward, they need to know what they can do and what's possible. There are entrepreneurs that are building 6 or 7-figure businesses. There's event producers that are running incredible competitions in the country, across provinces, across states. They're even running them globally. There are choreographers that are building amazing routines and these incredible personal brands. There are judges that are on social media and educating people on the sport and how to be successful. There's also media companies that are documenting the sport or they're helping promote the sport. There are consultants that are advising gym owners to be able to help grow and scale their programs. There are apparel brands that are creating practice gear. They're creating bows, uniforms, innovating what performance wear looks like in our sport. And there are so many different opportunities, but they're not clearly mapped out. And when athletes and coaches and parents don't see examples, they assume that those options don't exist. And that's the gap. After the Routine podcast exists to close that gap. So on our show, you'll hear conversations with former athletes who built businesses, coaches who scaled their programs, industry leaders that are innovating behind the scenes, event producers that are creating incredible opportunities and experiences for athletes, coaches, and families, creators and professionals who are taking their experience and turning it into a personal brand. We're also going to talk about career pivots and entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about education and leadership, networking and brand building. We're even going to dive into money and mistakes, lessons that we've learned, and things that we so wish we would have known when we were 16 or 17 or even 25 when you're looking at the sport. They're real conversations with real people in a real industry that are talking about what it actually takes to build a meaningful career beyond competition. The episodes will be released bi-weekly, and full-length video episodes will be available on YouTube and Spotify. And then we'll also be sharing short clips on Instagram and TikTok. And if you're listening right now, whether you're an athlete, a parent, a coach, or a professional, you are part of this conversation. And if it resonates with you, make sure to follow along for the journey. Share this episode with someone on your team or maybe someone else in the industry. We're going to start building a clear picture of what's possible after your routine when that music stops. And if you're an industry professional and you're listening right now and you want to help create that pathway and map out what a career looks like for others, send me an email at help@ttbmedia.ca because I want to talk to you. I want to have those conversations. So I'm excited for what's ahead. I hope you are too. And welcome to After the Routine.